How's everybody doing? It's been a while. All right, so National Signing Day. We didn't sign anyone today at this moment, so our program was in a good spot going into this break. We did I would say really help our team over the last 4 weeks. First of all, I would say the most important things we did was keep Jaden DeLaura, Jordan Morgan, Mike Wiley, Jacob Cowling, and Tanner McLaughlin from trying to go into the NFL. I think what we have is 5 NFL players right there, and all of those guys, had opportunities, thought about it, talked about it, and I would say that's a huge part of signing day, of recruiting, is keeping your own team first. We made a commitment to building the defense. We signed 20 defensive players, 10 offensive players in this cycle. I think that if you look at how we've done over the last 2 years, it's been our goal, really to change the narrative of Arizona football, that people should want to come here. People should want to be a part of our program. And I think I saw that in the last 16 years prior to last year, we had 6 top 300 players. In the last 2 years, we've had 7 top 300 players by ESPN standards. In the last 10 years, they signed 13 4-star and 5-star players. In the last 2 years, we've signed 10. So we're pretty proud of how recruiting has gone for our program. We want to continue to build off of that. It was really important for us to get bigger. So body type, size, physicality was all a huge part of our class. If you look at Tylen Gonzalez, who they still haven't ranked yet, so we'll see where he fits into the class. RJ Polito, Tristan Davis, Dom Malesio. You're talking about all 6'4" plus players, 240 pounds and above. I think we're in a really good place with our transfers. We brought in, with Manoa, Patu, Yates, Norton, Haimuli, Justin Flo, and most recently Cruz Rushing, right here from Tucson. We ended up bringing in 3 4-star and 1 5-star players out of those 7. So excited about that whole group. And then finally, since our last talk, high school-wise, Leviticus Sua committed to us at the Polynesian Bowl. He obviously signed with us on signing day, and he asked us to keep that quiet. So we did that. Very similar to Speedy Luke a year ago in that same vein. But to get Sua, who is from Mater Dei, Trinity League MVP, that would give us an opportunity to have the back-to-back Trinity League MVP 2 years in a row with T-Mac and Sua, which is great for Arizona football. And then the final thing I would like to say is since our last press conference, I believe we signed a 5-star coach. Coach Dwayne Akina will join us as senior defensive assistant / secondary coach. He's coached 3 Thorpe Award winners, 6 Thorpe Award finalists, 41 defensive backs who have played in the NFL, 7 Pro Bowlers, and has been a defensive coordinator for 9 years and an offensive coordinator for 4. So Coach Akina is now on our staff. We'll also continue our search for a corners coach. Hopefully that will be completed by this weekend, and put ourselves in position over these next 3 weeks to get our team ready for spring football and then open up spring ball. Final thing to mention is tomorrow night's signing day event. Goal is to get somewhere between 750 and 1,000 people at the event. It's an opportunity for our community to meet all of our players, not just the recruits, or not just our freshmen, but all of our team. It's an opportunity to have NIL deals made, created, and put together for our players and for the community. It's an opportunity for our community to hear from Yogi Roth. Will be emceeing the event. And it's going to take place right before the Oregon basketball game. So our goal would be Our event is from 5 to, let's call it 7:15, and then walk across the street and go win in McHale. So that is our plan, and we hope we can get that done. Thanks.
How did Coach Akina end up coming back to Tucson? What was that process like?
Well, what happened was when Coach Akina became available, I reached out to him. Wasn't sure exactly in what capacity we were going to, discuss with him. Went through the process of trying to figure out exactly what we wanted to do, what he wanted to do at this point in his career. Spoke with Dave Hickey. Came up with a plan in place. We expect the NCAA to open up some more rules in terms of who can coach and who can't coach. That's been a big part of discussions. Most recently, if your analyst can coach or not coach, and right now we believe that rule will change. So we wanted to get ahead of that and bring Coach Akina in.
What would you say as far as his expectations and what he was looking for?
To be a part of Arizona football. And he was very excited about the direction of our program, very excited to get back to Tucson. And I think he has a great love for University of Arizona and for the city of Tucson, has great history and tradition here. And to be able to bring him back and share some of his knowledge and share some of his history here. We introduced him to our players yesterday, and it was great to have him back.
What's his title exactly?
Senior defensive assistant.
For Leviticus Sua, what does he bring to that linebacker room?
Toughness, I would say, number one, a true sense of toughness. Loves to make plays on the ball. Very intelligent, 4.0 student, great student of the game, mature, physical, great body type for a high school linebacker. Probably close to 6'2", 225 pounds as an 18-year-old, and is going to give us a nice combination of a good linebacking core, which we've been working really hard to put together.
A 3-year captain at Mater Dei. So what does it say just about his leadership skills and since he was able to win MVP as a defensive guy to win that?
Yeah, well, I would say he's got every intangible and tangible you're looking for in a player at the high school level. Number one, he's coming from one of the top 2 or 3 football programs in the country. Number two, he was a captain for numerous years, as you mentioned, so leadership is a huge part for him. And then number three, the fact that he was as productive as he was, he kind of gives you the trifecta.
Brad Sismat from Phoenix that came down. The 2 players you signed in state from Hamilton, if you could talk about Genesis and Tay and what they bring.
Sure. Genesis falls under that same category, and so does Tay in terms of getting bigger and really recruiting size. Genesis is all a 6'2" as a safety. He's going to be one of those boundary safeties that is going to be 6'2", 215 pounds and, hit the daylights out of you. And I'm excited about him. A fantastic family. You want to talk about like a dream to recruit? He's got a wonderful set of siblings. He's got amazing parents, and just he's going to bring to us a maturity. He's going to bring to us an ability to make plays that we're really excited about Genesis joining us. Tay came down initially with his mom, who was a varsity athlete at the team up north. And Tay came down, and he looks what a linebacker should look like in high school. Very similar to Sua in terms of body type. Physical, tough. I watched him play a couple of games, talked to Coach Doherty's dad, who was the defensive coordinator at Hamilton, swore by both those guys. Then we were able to bring Tay's family in for an official visit, got to meet his dad, his 2 brothers, all athletes. So it was great to have both those guys on our team.
Talk about the calendar a little bit, just the recruiting calendar. Do you like, you had a signing day in December, and here we are just 6 weeks later. Does the calendar need to change with portal, signing day? Is this advantageous, Jedd, or do you see it where the calendar needs to be different?
advantageous for quality of life or advantageous for what per se? I would say that the biggest thing, clearly, signing day is now December, not today. Today is a few signing day moments, but this is not what signing day was. 90% of the players signed in December. There is an ability, I guess, if you have coaching changes to be able to sign a few players here or there. If you have guys that NIL deals fell through, you could sign a guy today. I think there's an opportunity that if there's any other, let's call it reasons why you haven't signed yet, you could sign today. The transfer portal is clearly a big part of this last month. But what January recruiting has now become is really spring recruiting. It's a chance for the head coach to go out and look at 2024s and beyond. I didn't have a home visit in January, which has never happened before. I didn't have a prospect to really talk to who's a 2023. So all of our time was spent on the 24s.
A guy like Charles Yates, can you just talk about that recruitment and how you find a guy like that at Pierce College?
Yeah, so what's pretty cool about, when you look at the guys that were the transfers, you're talking about the state of Alabama, you're talking about the state of Washington, Oregon, California, and Tennessee is where the high schools that those 7 kids came from. Yates is an Alabama kid from Mobile, Alabama. And really what happens there is that Coach Kafusi is responsible for a lot of our junior colleges out in California. And what's happened with the transfer portal is people stop recruiting junior colleges a lot. That you're really just waiting on, well, I'll just take a guy that's from a 4-year university that put themselves in the portal, and you miss out on, some of the very talented kids that have made it through the junior college ranks, which is a lot of people have made it through junior college ranks. He's somebody that we looked at his skill set. We felt like we needed to bring in someone that can play corner or nickel. He fit the mold in what we were looking for. We brought him in for a home visit, for an official visit. Got to spend time with him and really got to know him better. Got to understand, his story on how he ended up out in junior college. He already had the grades to be able to have his AA and start here immediately. So he's already involved in our program. He's already a part of our spring football, let's call it workouts, winter workouts. So excited about what he can bring to the program. We'll have to just see how quickly he can make an impact.
Recruiting rankings, some of which you have listed on a sheet that was put out today. Last year, Rivals had you 1 in the Pac-12. This year, Rivals has you 6 in the Pac-12. What are your benchmarks in terms of where you feel like you have to be annually to continue to build this program?
Well, I would say it's the first time in history at Arizona that we had 2 top 40 classes in a row. So I would start there, that gives us a nice spot. I think that recruiting rankings, are significant. And I think that if we could be in that top half or close to it, gives us a great opportunity to make it to where we want to go. It's going to be, I guess, SC, Washington, Oregon, Utah, UCLA, I think, and maybe Colorado or so were the groups ahead of us. I can't remember exactly. But, what we need to do is we need to attack that. We need to do the best we can to win those battles. But I also believe that you've got really good football teams there that have done a really good job of recruiting and are capable of offering certain things that allow you to recruit in a certain way, in a way that they can really make an impact. And we've got to be able to compete with them in that regard as well. So it's really important that you're able to have a great opportunity to play football here. You have an opportunity to make NIL money here. You have to have an opportunity to have stability here and win a championship here. All 4 of those things you have to be able to offer if you want to be one of the top, 4 or 5 programs in the Pac-12 in recruiting. And it's a big goal of ours to be that type of team.
The areas you guys addressed was the linebacker position during this recruiting class. Can you talk about how you guys have restructured that position during this offseason?
Yeah, we've made a big effort, first of all, bringing in Justin Flo, who we feel can immediately impact our program at Mike linebacker. Jacob Manu is now year 2 of the program. I don't think really at this point in time last year, we had much discussion about him being our starting will linebacker, which he ended up becoming for us. Leviticus Sua, Tay Brown, Kamu are all guys that add depth and give you the ability to become a starter quickly. And then you bring in Daniel Humeli from University of Washington, another 4-star recruit that you're now able to bring into your program. Coach Pau had familiarity with him during the recruiting process when he was at Washington. So to bring him in as well, I think we've really added depth and really added competition to our linebacking core. And now you're sitting there talking about 6 to 8 guys that could give you good reps rather than a few.
Last year we saw the offense take a big step forward after improving the defense. How do you just feel about that unit going into this year?
Yeah, I'd love to see our defense take a big step forward as well. The Pac-12 is an interesting league. If you look at the Pac-12, statistically, I believe we have 6 of the top 20 offenses in the country. I don't think we have any of the top 30 defenses in the country. I don't know if that's a chicken or the egg. Is that based upon the quarterback play in the Pac-12, or is that based upon, we just haven't been able to get our defenses at that same level? Our goal is to improve our defense tremendously from where it was a year ago, and also recognize that this is a league where you have amazing weather every game for the most part. You have quarterback after quarterback after quarterback that can really tear you apart in the passing game. You've got a ton of speed on the field that you've got to be able to figure out ways to tackle. And then you have you have really, really good coaches, really, really good offensive coaches. So it's a great challenge. I don't know if you could see the same jumps as we had in offense. I don't know. Maybe we can. That would be great. We have to sustain success on offense. We have to make a good jump on defense. We have to take the ball away more. We took it away 15 times. We got to take it away 20 or more. We got to get a few more red zone stops. That was a big issue for us last year. We didn't get that. I think with Bill Norton, with Tyler Manoa, with Oren Patu, with Tia Savea really coming into year 2, with Kangaika as a sophomore, with Tai, with Isaiah Johnson, we should be better against the run. And if we can do that, I think we'll have an opportunity to make the leap necessary to continue the build that we've talked about so often here.
Your spring schedule set up yet?
I do. We're going to start spring football on the Monday after spring break, which I believe is the 13th. We'll have our first practice on Tuesday, which I believe is the 14th. And that will go Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, all the way through, with the spring game being on April 15th.
Would you be for or against a rule that states that kids, if they're going to transfer, have to transfer to another conference and not transfer within the same conference?
Yeah, I've thought a lot about that. And, I think the problem becomes, when is it good and when is it not good, right? We got Jayden DeLora from in-conference. We lost Dorian Singer to in-conference. We got Oren Patu and Tyler Manoa from in-conference. We lost Christian Roland Wallace and Keon Bars to in-conference. So, I think I saw that the Pac-12 had the most amount of in-conference transfers. I think it was 31. I don't know that. I don't know the right answer there. I don't think anyone does, and I think that's why we're in this situation. It's hard to put the toothpaste back in the bottle. But I think we have to figure out some solution on, is this really what we want? Do we want to be able, the answer is yes, I do want Jayden DeLora. So no, I don't want to not be able to get guys to transfer from in conference. So I'm not sure. I'm not sure what the best solution is. You just want to be able to build your team the right way, and you want to build the camaraderie, and you want to be able to teach kids how to handle adversity, and also be able to work with kids to be able to succeed the best they possibly can. But I wish Keon and Ciro and Dorian all the best at their spot, and I feel like we're fortunate to get the guys we got at our spot.
Off the top about the 5 players that considered the NFL, how close did you come to losing some? How much input did you give them? Was it just them gauging?
No, I think we were pretty close. There was a lot of long nights, a lot of long conversations. I think Jaden's in a good position that he did not want to go anywhere. I think the biggest issue with Jaden is that, people walk around, they're like, wow, what's Delora's plan? But Jaden is really happy here. Jaden wants to grow and develop into a really good quarterback. So I felt like he was probably the furthest away from being somebody that was going to enter into the draft. Jacob Cowling had a lot of agents talking to him and wanting him to go into the draft. He has a lot of, obviously responsibilities outside of football, but he also knew it was best for him to return. And he is a special player, special person, fantastic kid. And we're going to do everything we can to put him in position to be a mid-round or early round draft pick. Tanner McLaughlin really kind of sprung out of nowhere in regards to, coming in from Southern Utah. No one knew who he was, and then he was second on the team. Or second in the history of tight ends here at University of Arizona in receptions last year. I think Tanner got a lot of people talking to him about coming to join their program or the NFL. And we just had some good long talks about why his development here will be critical. And we're going to do all we can to help him become a drafted tight end in a year from now. Mike Wiley's been here 4 years. A lot of his friends moved on at that point in time. We don't have a lot of players that have been in that class still on our football team. He had a really, really good year, very productive. I think he was trying to figure out what would be the best move for him. He has his Eller degree come May, but we talked and spoke with his family, flew to Houston, met with them. And together we felt it would be an amazing opportunity for Mike to come back here and replicate the success he had this year. And then Jordan Morgan would obviously be the one that was the most unique. I think Jordan's a first-round draft pick at left tackle, who probably would have been a third-round draft pick if he went out based on the injury. So what he was able to do is make a commitment for the long term and say, hey, I'm going to rehab and I'm going to put myself in position that I can become a first-round pick again. We expect him to be back for opening day.
Do you anticipate any movement in the quarterback room? I know you had mentioned Gunner maybe becoming.
Yeah, Gunner is a graduate assistant for us officially in our strength and conditioning program. So we get to wake Gunner up at 5 o'clock every morning to get the benches ready to go and the weights ready to roll. And he's as fired up as can be about that. Right now, we're still working through Will, his shoulder, making sure he's working through really trying to still come back from that shoulder surgery and being ready to go. So I think there's that one might be a tough one for him to return. Other than that, looking forward to Noah's growth, looking forward to what Braden can bring. And Cole Tannenbaum has had a really, really good offseason of training. And I think he's excited about the opportunity to compete. And Jaden has had the best 3 weeks that I've ever seen with Jaden. So from when he got here last January till yesterday, I would say these 3 weeks that he's had in terms of his attitude, in terms of his work ethic. I think he weighs 207 pounds right now. And he is absolutely crushing it, both in the classroom and on the playing field. So it's pretty cool to see. Okay. Thank you all.